in internet land. For a very few of you, this may be a resurgence of a channel. For the rest of you in the future trolling back to find out where it all went wrong, it's right here. Now, in the past, this channel has been about music reviews, music news, and randomly some technology talks. But instead, I want to refocus this on its namesake, which are earworms. For those of you playing the home game, a earworm is a song or an album that gets stuck in your head, whether you want to or not. So the majority of these videos will be about songs that have gotten stuck in my head or music I've discovered that I think is worthy to be stuck in your head. Now, this will cover albums and individual songs, kind of depending on how good they are. I'll definitely still cover some albums as we go along, but for the most part, it'll be stuff that has been stuck in my head and think should be stuck in yours. Now, to start us off, we're going to talk about 4 Year Strong's new album, Brain Pain. Oh man, it's been 5 long years since we've had anything from them. Now, 5 years doesn't really seem like a lot, but when you think nowadays bands come out with something every 2 years, and considering how much they own this genre, how much of a staple they are in the scene, this is a long wait. Now, right off the bat, this is 100% a good contender for my album of the year. Now, granted, Dance Gavin Dance's new album hasn't come out yet, so I'm not putting any money on the table just yet, but this is just an all-around fantastic album. And at the time of filming this, we're in the middle of the COVID-19 quarantine. So for a lot of people, they don't have a job or they don't know if they have a job to come back to. Some of us have jobs but have been stuck inside for a while. My family's been in quarantine for about 4 weeks now with only short trips out, into the real world. So pretty much everybody is in some need of some sort of pick-me-up. And if music can do that for you, this is a really good album to start off with. Now, typically I choose 2, maybe 3 songs to talk about the highlight of songs you should listen to on the album, but this one was hard. I think I picked 5. Now, I'm not going to talk about the first couple singles, except for one, because they're singles. They always get a lot of airtime. And one of those is Get Out of My Head. I'm starting here because this is the most earwormable song of the entire album. It's got a very punchy, very in-your-face start, and for the verses, it's very long lyrics that just get stuck in your head. But I think my favorite part about it is the chorus. All the music drops back and this very relatable, very singable vocal chorus comes through, and it's just so much fun to sing along to. And the bridge has this really cool vocal split that, again, it's very 4 Year Strong. It's kind of their thing, and I love it. The next one up is The Worst Part About Me. My favorite part about this is the chorus. The whole thing is the idea of the worst part about me is you. Now, this is in no way, shape, or form the first time we've seen this in the scene, but this is my favorite adaptation of it. It's not mopey and sad and slow. It's punchy, it's fun, it's danceable. So it's just something we don't see that often. Now, the bridge is very graphic. The lyrics are split me down the middle and open up my chest, but it's still something you can blast out your windows without somebody yelling at you and calling you Gerard Way. Okay, I get it. It's a stretch. It's very niche, but it's funny, right? So not so surprisingly, there is some sort of ballad on this album. Most albums of this genre have one slow one, but this one's very unique as well. It's slow, it's acoustic, but yet it's still driving. It's still got that 4 Year Strong energy behind it. Now, lyrically, this one hits me close to home. Pretty much it's about having to leave your family for an extended period of time. In this case, I'm sure they're talking about going on tour and going through the emotions of walking through that door. Now, I travel a lot for work, so this one hits really close to home and it's 100% relatable. So it's definitely high up there. So going off the ballad, there are 2 slower songs on this album as well. And they're not necessarily slow songs, they just start slow and then build. And originally I had a problem with them. I felt like they were out of place, it didn't make sense to me. And that was because I was shuffle playing through it instead of listening to it from beginning to end. So when I listened to the whole album beginning to end, it made total sense. The kind of build that it does and what is leading up to is great. It really puts 2 great end caps on the album, which again is something you don't find nowadays. Some bands will just start it off with a punch and then the ending of it they don't really care about. All right, so my absolute favorite song on this album though is Crazy Pills. Not the most earwormable, but definitely my go-to if I'm gonna shuffle play this album. To me, it's a greatest hits of this entire thing. It's got very punchy, very groovy verses. It's got a pre-chorus straight out of their older stuff. But the best part is the chorus. It's very big and it just makes you sing. Any song can make you bob your head, but if you just find yourself singing without really thinking about it, that's really cool. Overall, it's a very fun song, and the lyrics and the music play off each other the entire time. This whole concept about being crazy and the way the music moves, it's great. So if we take a step back, lyrically, this song is very 4 Year Strong. It's about relationships, daily struggles, maybe even a little bit of mental health, but it's very fun and poppy. So it's the usual stuff, nothing really to write home about. Musically, 4 Year Strong is proving that they still wear the crown, and they continue to set the bar in this pop punk / scene genre. Again, there are other bands that are in this area that do very well, but right now 4 Year Strong owns it yet again. It's not overproduced, which what we saw with their last album. The last album was good. I don't know, it seemed capped. It didn't seem like they really could let themselves go on it. This one isn't necessarily as punchy or has as much energy as their first couple albums, but it's still very, very fun. You could really think of this album as having a foundation from their first 2 albums, Rise or Die Trying and Enemy of the World, and they're blending in what they learned from the last self-titled album of being more up-to-date fun. So in the realm of all of their albums, this comes at a close second, almost first. For me personally, Rise or Die Trying holds a very special place in my heart. Just when I listen to it, it's just from front to back, just very danceable, very roll the windows down and drive super fast. So with bringing this channel back, I wanted to also introduce some accolades or some awards. Now I'm still gonna do my 1 through 10 out of cons. It's a Star Trek thing. So obviously these are completely arbitrary. They're completely my own bias, but again, it's my channel, so we're gonna do it. So I hadn't planned on giving any earworm worthy titles or awards or seal of approvals on anything just yet. I wanted to get my feet wet and get through some stuff. But this album is so good, and with what we're going through right now, we need something fun and something that can take our mind off of everything else, that I'm gonna give it. So because this album has been stuck in my head for 3 weeks straight, and because it's just all around an amazing album, and I really struggled to find really anything negative to say about it. For some songs I didn't have the greatest praise for. Brain Pain was one of them. But the more I listened to it, the more it made sense and the better it got. Now, I'm not saying you have to listen to this album 4 times to appreciate it. Honestly, once is probably enough. So with all that being said, I'm giving Brain Pain by 4 Year Strong a 10 out of 10 cons. Again, I tried so hard to find something wrong with it and I just couldn't. It's fun. It's well produced, it makes sense, and honestly I believe that anybody can enjoy this. You don't have to be a scene kid or a punk guy to enjoy this music. I really do feel like no matter what you listen to the most, you will find some sort of joy in this album. So because of that, I'm also giving it the EarWorm seal of approval for all that it's worth. As I said before, I'm still in quarantine, so I'm probably going to put out some more of these. If there's an album or a song that's been stuck in your head and you feel like everyone else should have it stuck in their head, let me know. Comments, emails, smoke signals, carry pigeon, whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.